Hi everyone. I want to talk about mentorship classes that have been launched for the upcoming EPFO exam. पहले मैं ज़रूरत की बात करना चाहूँगा. What is the need of these mentorship classes? Then I will talk about two major agendas that we are going to follow in all these mentorship classes. I will also take you through the entire timetable of mentorship classes. Then the decision is upon you whether you actually feel the need of these classes or not. If you do, go forward. If you don't, you can keep preparing by yourself as well. पहले ज़रूरत की बात कर लेते हैं. I have felt in the past 7, 8, 9 years of experience in teaching that as important as teaching is, equally important is being there for the student and regularly clearing the doubts of the students, giving direction to the students, and also giving the right direction to the students. Because as students, whenever an examination comes, we often panic, and in that panic, we often are unable to decide what is to be read more, what is to be read less, what is to be given more time, what is to be given less time, which direction to follow. And in that panic mode and unawareness about the examination, the need of the examination, we often tend to study a lot, but we also often tend to study the wrong things. That is where I feel a strong need of mentorship classes arises. I have been doing mentorship classes for other examinations as well, and the result has been phenomenal. That is why I'm bringing mentorship classes for EPFO exam as well. अब मैं ले चलता हूँ आपको एजेंडा की तरफ. As I said, there are going to be two major agendas of mentorship sessions. You can see on the screen now. I have divided the entire coverage into 16 weeks, which is basically or approximately 4 months. Okay. तो सब कुछ 16 weeks में divide किया है. Out of that 16 weeks, we will try and cover majority of the syllabus by the 10th week. अब ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप जब syllabus पढ़ रहे हो, because you have a lot of subjects to read, तो ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. It is a reality check that I want to give to you that you will be able to read all the subjects completely. That will never happen. कुछ ना कुछ gaps आपके subjects में रहेंगे. और बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो आप पढ़ोगे, you might not be able to even remember a lot of those things as well. इसलिए हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा कि वीक 10 तक हम जितना पढ़ सकते हैं सारे सब्जेक्ट्स को एक बार कवर कर ले. फ्रॉम वीक 11 ऑनवर्ड्स वी स्टार्ट विद अ रिविजन साइकिल. एंड रिविजन डज नॉट सिंपली मीन दैट यू जस्ट टेक टेस्ट्स. रिविजन ऑल्सो मीन्स दैट यू रीड वट एवर यू हैव रेड एंड यू ऑल्सो स्टार्ट फिलिंग इन गैप्स. जो भी वीक गैप्स आपको मिले ऊपर रियलाइज हुए, वो गैप्स फिल करना शुरू हो. तो मेंटरशिप में ये सब डिस्कशंस हो पाते हैं कि सर मेरा ये गैप है, हाउ डू आई फिल दिस, ये मुझे समझ नहीं आया, हाउ डू आई गो फॉरवर्ड एंड ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर, is it actually important to spend a lot of time on understanding this or can I skip this, all those kinds of questions. So let's start with week 1. From the next week, starting next week, we will be starting with week 1. Before that, we're going to have an introduction session on mentorship. In the first week, you are required to do these two things, basically these three things, but evening में इसको 1 घंटा ही देना है. Now in these two things, you will be required to spend a considerable time on maths practice unless you are very good at maths and reasoning. यहाँ पर हम first 2 weeks के लिए maths ले रहे हैं. You can also combine the two if you are very good at maths and reasoning. If you have been preparing for civil services, RBI, CAT, these sorts of exams, तो यहाँ पे आपका time जो है वो कम हो जाएगा. You can figure out where do you stand based upon previous year paper analysis. उसका analysis खुद बैठ के करिए, आपको समझ आ जाएगा as to where do you stand. You spend about 2-3 hours on maths practice in the afternoon. If you're not yet done with the syllabus of maths, if you're reading it for the first time, तो आपको यहाँ पर काफ़ी टाइम देना पड़ेगा. In the morning, we start with industrial relations and labor laws because one of the most important number of questions also that are asked from this are among the highest. Remember, understand this, that industrial relations is a different subject, labor laws is a different subject. Right now, I am starting with industrial relations. We're done with majority of the classes. जो भी बची हैं 2-3 वो खत्म करेंगे. And then I will create an updated section of all the labor laws, not only the labor codes, because even after labor codes, we are seeing that they're asking questions from the lot of old labor laws. So we'll be covering all these labor laws in the next 2-3 weeks, one by one. जो भी अभी तक अवेलेबल है, स्पेशली द लेबर कोड्स, यू कैन कवर दैट बिकॉज दैट होल्ड्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. आप एक वीक के लिए ये कवर करोगे एंड देन ऑन द वीकेंड सैटरडे को मैं आपको ये टेस्ट दूंगा. आप सैटरडे या संडे कभी भी लगा सकते हो, 2 दिन के लिए लाइव रहेगा. Sunday morning we are going to have a session because a lot of students are working. So Sunday morning we are going to have a session, and in this session we will revisit all the questions, and we will also try and take your doubts. So that is the agenda of every mentorship class. We revisit the tests, take your doubts, and I give you direction for the next 1 week कि यार अगले एक वीक में आपको ये करना है. We'll sit again, take a test and try and see how much are you able to cover it. I know for a fact that no student can cover the entire IR and labor law in 1 week. It's just impossible. You can cover probably 30-40% of it, and that's fine. We cover the remaining a little later. We come back to it. Next, we spend one entire week on economy and social security. In the same way, I give you the targets, I show it to you कि भाई इकोनॉमी के अंदर ये सारी चीज़ें आपको कवर करने की कोशिश करनी है, सोशल सिक्योरिटी में ये सारी चीज़ें, यू टू ट्राई एंड कवर देम इन द नेक्स्ट 1 week whatever you can cover, and then we take a test and we try and learn from those tests, and also I'll give you the direction for the next 1 week. See, we are running against time because we have 3 to 4 months for the exam, so we are running against time. Therefore, we can't spend 15 days, 20 days on one subject. It's just not practical. It's better to spend a week on a subject, cover whatever you can, and then move on to the next subject. Because you have 15 subjects to cover, average understanding of all the subjects is going to pay you more than excellent understanding of 5 out of 15 subjects. If you know 5 out of 15 subjects or 10 out of 15 subjects and don't know the remaining 5, there is no chance that you will get through. But if you know a little bit about all the subjects, there are high chances that you can make it through with basic understanding. Okay. Next, we cover accounts. Now, these are all sequenced according to their importance. Industrial relations, very important. Economy, social security, very important. Accounts, important. Computers, important. History, important. Now, the importance reduces. Science, lesser number of questions. Polity, even lesser number of questions. After week 7, we repeat whatever we can. So, we come back to industrial relations and we spend 2 weeks now on this one instead of 1 week, because we are done with majority of the important subjects. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subjects here, 8, 9, 10. We're done with 10 subjects, majority of the important subjects. So instead of coming to current affairs and spending more time current affairs, because current affairs questions come aate hain, what we do is we repeat industrial relations and labor laws, and this time we spend 2 weeks, 15 days on it. We cover whatever was remaining because these are important subjects. Okay. So we spend 2 weeks on it. If you have time and if you do not need to spend 2 weeks on it, you spend 2 weeks or 1 week on whatever subject is remaining. And then the last 1 week, we simply cover the remaining topics: statistics, audit, and insurance, because they are the least important. Very less number of questions are asked from it. You cover the basics and you move ahead. Okay. Now, after week 10, the revision starts, and this is where mentorship gets even more interesting, because we will be covering a lot more questions. Number one, lot more subjects and lot more tests as well. So we are going to take 2 tests, but we are going to have mentorship once a week, every Sunday. Every Wednesday, I will give you one comprehensive test, and also on the same day, Wednesday, I will give you another test which will contain 90 questions of all these topics combined, and it will contain 30 questions of maths, reasoning, and English. Now, we are not going to spend time on going through the syllabus of maths, reasoning, and English after week 10. We will just cover as much as possible through practice questions in maths, reasoning, and English. And that is why I am going to give you one test here of maths, reasoning, and English, and another one here as well. And you are also required to revise as much as possible through practice questions. On Sunday also, I will give you another test, one test of comprehensive, the entire syllabus, because you've gone through the entire syllabus now, and one more test containing of 90 questions of these topics only, and then 30 questions of combined maths, reasoning, and English. This way, we will try and create another cycle. So, week 11, week 12, week 13, 14, and 15. 14, you see that we are repeating. 15 we are repeating again. So in 14 we are repeating what we did in week 11. So repetition is the key. आपको सर्कल में चलना है, यहाँ से स्टार्ट हुए, जितना ज़्यादा बार रिपीट करोगे उतना ज़्यादा बेटर तैयारी आपकी होगी. अगर ऐसे चलोगे तो उतनी अच्छी तैयारी नहीं हो पाएगी. It is based upon my experience and experience of my students in the exam. The more they repeat, the more they revise, the better they get, because the syllabus is so vast, the subjects are so many that you have no chance of reading all the subjects and remembering all of them in the next 4 months. ये syllabus ऐसा है जो 1.5 साल में cover करने वाला है. But you can cover it on an average to an excellent level in some subjects, and average and above average in a lot of other subjects, through repetition, through revision. So that is what we do. Okay, that is all about an awareness about the mentorship sessions that are starting. The first session is going to be intro, where I will be talking about the need of mentorship and what all will I be doing in these mentorship sessions, and then we will start with week 1. Okay, that is all from my side. Keep studying hard. All the best. Bye bye.